So as we move through the data analytics lifecycle and through visualization in particular, one of our big goals is to put things in context. So this might start by putting a collection of observations in context by showing their mean. So you got a distribution of points, and you just want to say like, well, where's the average here, or where's the median? Like, what's above and below what we would expect to see? So this is just like a simple reference. We might get more complicated by saying, well, what's in an expected band? Like, what's in the like a mean plus or minus a couple standard deviations, for instance, something like this, trying to give the user or the viewer an understanding of what to expect, like what is the context in which these data points are being viewed. We can move this kind of along to things like trend lines, where we're not displaying just one variable and relating to its mean. We're actually exploring the relationship between two variables and how they may or may not be related. So if we were just to say like X depends on Y or Y depends on X in the following way, what does that way look like? How sure are we that what we're seeing is real, as opposed to just an artifact of what we've collected in terms of data? There's a whole bunch of stuff here. It just keeps going and going too. I mean, we can think about time series, if not just like X versus Y, but what about Y over time? And thinking about, well, how do we put that in context? How do we think about aggregating that down so that we can think about things like seasonality, we can think about things like trend, and then how do we use things like seasonality and trend to build forecasts? But the idea of this series of videos is to really start at the beginning, to put data, individual columns in the context of their mean or their median by showing things like reference lines, then to put two variables like an X and a Y variable in context with respect to each other with things like trend lines, and to explore the properties we have in there, and then to put things like time series in context by exploring aggregation that will allow us to boil down some of the detail that may not matter in context, like daily fluctuations, and instead look at overall trends like yearly seasonality or trends that continue over years in order to really help the user see the context of the data we've presented. So at the end of this video, hopefully the series of videos, hopefully you'll have a good idea of like the different levels of granularity that you can engage a user on when you're asking them to think about the data that you're seeing right now relative to some norm, relative to some reference, whether that reference is a trend line or a reference line or some kind of underlying smooth time series. Regardless, hopefully you can help put these data in context for your viewers so they can get at these big ideas more quickly.